Hello, I'm Braden, and welcome to Thrift Addicted. I'm a full-time reseller who mainly sells on eBay and Facebook Marketplace. And in this video, I want to go through 15 of my favorite sales from Q1 of 2022. But first, this video is not sponsored by Bang, but it should be. I mean, who doesn't want to sponsor a channel with 25 subscribers? This first item I had in my death pile for literally a year before I decided to list it. I'm so glad I finally got around to it because it sold in less than a day for $89.99 plus $15.99 shipping. And that is this vintage Woolrich jacket. Woolrich is a brand you have to be careful with. There's vintage Woolrich, especially their wool items, that are worth huge money, but their more modern stuff tends to sell for much, much less. Sometimes I still sell their modern flannels. They usually aren't wool anymore, but either way, this jacket was huge profit, seeing as I only paid $12 for it. Next is a brand I think most of us are aware of now. It's Lululemon. It sold this men's large hoodie for $100 in less than a day. Actually, I listed it, it sold in less than a day, didn't fit the buyer, buyer returns it, list it again, and it sells in less than a day again. I don't think there's been one Lululemon item I've found that I didn't pick up, even if it has stains on it. Because even though some of their stuff doesn't sell for huge money like this jacket, there's a giant market for all things with that little logo. This is an item I sat on for over a year, not in the death pile, on eBay. It's a vintage Ghost Down puffer Polo Ralph Lauren jacket. It's a woman's XL, and I think the reason it didn't sell very fast is the only insignia or logo it has on the entire outside of the jacket is a little patch on the shoulder. But even though it took a long time to sell, it still sold for $85 and I only paid $7 for it. We have another Ralph Lauren item. It's a pullover from the 112th US Open. Truthfully, I don't know if that's for golf or tennis, but either way, we got $60 plus $10 shipping. Bolo time. Ibex, I-B-E-X, is a great brand to look out for. I've only found it twice, but neither of those items sat for more than a couple of days, and this one sold for less than the first one. This jacket sold for $70.99 plus $8.99 shipping. We sold a super rare vintage Le Mans cycling jersey. It sat for around 9 months, but we got $78.50 out of it and only paid $4.24. Up next is an item that came out of my personal collection. I have a rather large collection of sports cards and sports memorabilia, and I decided to get rid of a few things so I can buy more, pretty much. This Ty Law Panini Prism signed card sold for $57.50, and I paid $42 for it. I really only make $1 or $2, but that's not why I bought it. And I added it in here to make sure that you're always looking out for sports cards because they're super hot right now. We sold another Patriots item. We got rid of a Tom Brady Reebok jersey. We only paid $3.39 for it, and it sold in about 3 months for $65.96. This is a brand I've talked about in a previous video, but make sure you're still looking out for it. It's Kuhl, K-U-H-L, and these are convertible pants, ones that zip at the knee to convert into shorts. They sold in 3 days for $59.99 plus $9.99 shipping. We sold a Cabela's jacket. I think Cabela's get slept on by some resellers, but some of their stuff is worth pretty good money. This is a vintage hunting jacket, paid $4.77 for it and flipped it for $50. William Murray is a golf brand by the legend Bill Murray himself, and I've sold 4 or 5 of their polos, and they all sell for big money and real quick. I made a mistake on this shirt. The buyer sent me an offer of $48. I had it listed for $60, and I meant to counter them $54.50, but I didn't realize I accidentally sent them an offer of $44.50. And very rarely do buyers accept offers that quick, but seeing as it was my mistake and it was only a $10 loss, so instead of risking making a buyer mad and a negative feedback by canceling the order, I decided to just ship it anyway. This next item, though it is something you should look out for and probably buy for the right price, was a headache. This Honda Joe Rocket racing jacket that's padded. Similar comps were selling for $160, $170. I got it at the thrift store for $40. It had a bunch of stains and some discoloration on it, so I thought it might be worth $100 to $130. And in a few months, I ended up selling it for $100. And when the buyer got it, they inspected it and they got mad that there was stains on it. Even though there was literally 5 of the 12 photos on the item dedicated to showing the stains and a detailed description of the stains in the description, they didn't realize there was anything wrong with it. So after I already gave them $30 off, they told me they weren't happy. So I said they could either send it back to me for a full refund or I'd just give them a 20% refund and just get out of my life. They took the partial, said it was fair, ended up leaving positive feedback, but still it was 40 into 80. eBay takes probably $10 to $12 in fees, and shipping was around 20. It was a heavy jacket. So I only made a couple bucks off it, but it's out of my hair. I don't ever have to think about it again. And sometimes you just need to swallow your pride, no matter how right you are, because starting an issue with somebody over $20 or something minuscule isn't worth the risk of getting a negative feedback. And honestly, it's not worth your time. The time you spend arguing with a buyer that you're probably going to end up refunding anyway can be spent on listing, sourcing, or spending with family or your dog. Now, that doesn't mean let people take advantage of you. There's definitely situations where you need to hold your ground. You need to stand up for what's right. And all of that is a judgment call. And I'm curious to hear what you think. Would you have fought this buyer over this $20? Let me know down in the comments. We sold some Burberry. Burberry, or as us Americans call it, Burberry, is a great high-end brand. This polo was nothing special at all. It was just a regular cotton material. It felt like a Lacoste polo, but it still sold for $45 plus 6 shipping. We sold another NFL Reebok jersey. It's a Larry Fitzgerald jersey from his rookie year. Pretty rare. The sleeves have the Arizona logo on it. He played for the Arizona Cardinals. And I received quite a few lowball offers, but I knew if I waited for the right buyer, I could get close to my asking price. And sure enough, after a couple weeks, it sold for $49.99 with a cool $6 shipping on top. And finally, we sold this Affliction hoodie. As I've said in previous videos, Affliction is one of my favorite brands to sell because even if it has stains and tears in it, it's part of the look and it tends to sell well. This one sold in less than a week for $43.50 plus $8.99 shipping. Thank you so much for watching. That was 15 high dollar items that I sold in the first 3 months of this year. And honestly, you have no idea how much it means to me to have you with me at the beginning of my YouTube journey. And because I love you so much, I will put 5 more high dollar items that sold on the screen right now. And if you have any questions about any of these items that sold, or if you have any thoughts about how I handled the situations in this video, please put them in the comments. I make a point to respond to every comment that I get, and it honestly makes my day to interact with you guys on the channel. But again, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for my next video where I talk about 3 big mistakes that I made recently that hurt my business and cost me money. But until then, I'm Braden, and I hope you have a great day. Wink.